The story of the Johnson family ***. The Johnsons were a family of 4 living in a small town in the American Midwest. For as long as they could remember, money had always been tight. John, the father, was a mechanic who could fix almost anything but struggled to find steady work, while his wife, Lisa, worked nights as a waitress in a 24-hour diner to make ends meet. They had 2 children, Emma, a bright high schooler with dreams of going to college, and Jake, a curious and inventive 10-year-old who loved building things out of scraps. Despite their financial hardships, the Johnsons were bound by love and shared dreams of a better life. This is their story, a tale of struggle, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond of family. The Johnson family's daily life was filled with hard choices. Every month, they faced a constant balancing act, which bills to pay, what groceries they could afford, and how much they could set aside for emergencies. For John and Lisa, these decisions weighed heavily, as they didn't want their children to feel the strain. They wanted Emma and Jake to have as normal a childhood as possible, even if it meant quietly skipping meals or working extra shifts. Emma, now a high school senior, was aware of the sacrifices her parents made. She was determined to go to college to give her family a better future, but the cost seemed insurmountable. She studied hard, knowing scholarships were her only chance. She dreamed of becoming an engineer, but with every passing day, her dreams felt further away. Jake, too young to understand the full weight of their struggles, had his own quiet ambitions. Inspired by his father's mechanical skills, he'd spend hours tinkering with broken radios, old toys, and anything else he could get his hands on. John encouraged his son's curiosity, even if they couldn't afford new parts, teaching him to appreciate the value of creating something out of nothing. One winter, disaster struck when John was laid off from his job at the auto repair shop. The news hit the family like a storm. John searched tirelessly for work, taking on odd jobs and even walking miles to save gas money. Lisa picked up extra shifts, but it was never enough. The situation worsened when their old car, the only one they owned, broke down. Repairs would cost more than they could afford, but without the car, Lisa couldn't get to work on time. In a heartbreaking decision, John sold his prized toolbox to pay for the repairs. He had carried that toolbox since he was young, and it symbolized his pride as a skilled mechanic. The decision pained him, but he knew his family's needs came first. As John's job hunt continued to bear no fruit, tension grew. Emma, seeing her parents' struggles, considered giving up on her dream of college. She started applying for part-time jobs to help, despite her parents insisting she focus on her studies. They wanted a better life for her, but Emma felt that her dreams were slipping away. One day, while John was working on a broken appliance for a neighbor, he met an older man named Jim who owned a small auto shop just outside of town. Jim was impressed by John's skill and offered him a temporary position. Although it was only part-time and paid modestly, it was a lifeline. Meanwhile, Emma's teacher noticed her talent and offered to help her with college applications. She recommended Emma for a local scholarship program, which was fiercely competitive. Emma put all her effort into the application, knowing it was her best chance. She poured her heart into her essays, sharing her dreams and her family's struggles. As the days went by, small blessings began to lift the family's spirits. Jim extended John's work at the shop, and one of Lisa's regular customers left her a generous tip, knowing she was trying to save for her daughter's education. These gestures, though small, reminded the Johnsons that they were not alone. Just as things seemed to improve, another setback hit. John's health began to deteriorate, and he was diagnosed with a condition that required medication they couldn't afford. Facing hospital bills, the family once again felt the weight of poverty pushing down on them. John urged Lisa not to worry about him, insisting that the children's needs came first, but Lisa's heart ached with the thought of losing him. Meanwhile, Emma faced a difficult decision. Her scholarship application had advanced to the final round, but her father's illness weighed heavily on her mind. She considered staying home to support her family instead of pursuing college. But with her mother's encouragement, she decided to continue with her application. "This is your chance, Emma," Lisa told her. "Your father and I want you to succeed. We will find a way to make it through." Emma spent late nights studying, working on her scholarship application, and keeping up with her part-time job. She knew that if she won, her family's sacrifices would have meaning. Jake, seeing his sister's struggles and inspired by his father's resilience, came up with a unique idea. He had been building small gadgets out of broken appliances for years, and now he began creating small items, keychains, toy robots, and decorations, from scraps. He decided to sell them at school to help his family. His classmates and teachers admired his creativity and began to support him. Word of the Johnson family's struggles spread through the community. Neighbors began offering help, some brought groceries, others offered to drive Lisa to work or donate to help with John's medical bills. The kindness of the town brought a new strength to the Johnsons, and they realized they were not as alone as they had once felt. One day, as the Johnson family was sitting down to dinner, Emma received a letter in the mail. It was from the scholarship committee. Her hands trembled as she opened it, her family watching her anxiously. When she read the words aloud, "Congratulations, you have been awarded the full scholarship," the room erupted in tears and laughter. The scholarship covered Emma's tuition, housing, and even some living expenses. It was the opportunity she had dreamed of and a testament to the hard work and sacrifices her family had made. John and Lisa were overwhelmed with pride, knowing that all their sacrifices had paved the way for their daughter's future. With Emma's scholarship secured, John and Lisa felt a renewed sense of purpose. John's health slowly improved as the community continued to support them, and Lisa was able to work fewer shifts. Jake's small business continued to grow, and he found joy in helping his family in his own creative way. Emma left for college, but she stayed in close touch with her family, calling every day and returning home for holidays. She studied tirelessly, determined to honor her family's sacrifices. During her time at college, she learned about programs that helped low-income families, inspiring her to pursue a career in public policy. She dreamed of one day working to make healthcare and education more accessible for families like hers. Back at home, John's health continued to improve, and he was eventually able to return to work part-time at Jim's shop. Lisa, too, found a new job with better hours, allowing her to be home more with Jake, whose love for inventing and creating continued to grow years later. Emma graduated with honors and landed a position with a nonprofit organization that provided resources to underprivileged communities. She poured her heart into her work, helping other families facing the same struggles her own family had endured. She often spoke about her journey, sharing her family's story as a reminder of resilience, sacrifice, and community. With her first paycheck, Emma surprised her family by paying off their remaining debts and moving them into a small but comfortable home. John, Lisa, and Jake could hardly believe the change. Their years of hardship had finally blossomed into a life of peace and stability. Jake went on to pursue a degree in engineering, turning his childhood love for inventing into a career. He credited his parents for teaching him resilience and his sister for inspiring him to follow his dreams. The Johnsons, once a family defined by poverty, had become a symbol of hope and strength. Their story touched everyone in the town, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the bonds of family and the kindness of community can light the way forward.